Hey guys, hello there, how's it going? I hope you're all having a good weekend so far. Today, it's time for the final regular Hollow Knight stream, because today I am covering the fourth and final of the free DLC content packs, Godmaster. So, Godmaster is all about boss fights. It's got boss rushes, it's got boss refights with extra challenges. There is quite a bit to it. So I'm not going to be doing a full playthrough of it like I've done with the rest of the game, because honestly, I might be streaming it for the rest of the year if I were to do that. So what I'm going to be doing is more of kind of a showcase, just quickly showing off all of the different kinds of things that are available, showing off some of the new boss fights that I really enjoy, showing off how it works, maybe giving the final challenge a bit of a go. In order to do this, I am starting on my stream save file to show how you actually access this stuff. Then I'm going to be swapping over to one of my older save files where I've actually got everything unlocked, and then we're going to be showcasing it on that one. Just because, again, yeah, if I actually try and unlock it all here, we're going to be here for a while, and quite frankly, I can't be bothered. I really just can't be bothered. It's, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of that sort of challenge content. So I've done it once, I don't really want to do it again. Anyway, so as you would expect, the journey towards unlocking this content begins somewhere very heavily associated with combat. We are in the Colosseum of Fools, and the Godmaster DLC added a little extra secret room here, if I can just remember how to access it. I believe that this is a breakable wall. Yep, there we go. So when the game first came out, that wall originally was not breakable. And this leads us into kind of this weird, like, side room. Can't go that way, so I'm going to have to drop down. Hey, welcome on in, Sam. Hope you're having a good day. How you doing? Going to be lurking for a bit. That is fine. So, have you ever seen Lord of the Rings? This is the Pale Lurker. He's not really a boss fight. He's more of a chase. But he is basically just Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. He is holding something, and it is very precious to him. You haven't, actually. You need to fix that. It's a very good series of films. Right, let's hunt this guy down. So you've got to be very careful, because he will throw out spikes behind him. And, yeah, it's very easy to get hit by them. So in order to make this easier, I've equipped Mark of Pride. I've got some spell upgrades on as well. He does that as well. I forgot he did that. Is that him done already? Or is he just teleported away? Okay, no, I think he's still going. I think he just got away from me because I was getting too close. But you're watching a horse girl sports anime. Yeah, I mean, something tells me they're just very different sorts of entertainment. So I do get hit a lot by this guy. I find he is a quite a tricky little character to deal with. Ow. Where's he gone? Oh, God. Okay, he's gotten away again. Right, I'm actually going to be a little bit more careful here. Take the time to heal. Okay, he's ran again. He seems to keep going up here, so I'm going to take this shortcut. There he is. Ow. Got him, nice. So he drops an extra simple key. And that is because the new Godmaster content is locked behind a new lock that wasn't originally in the game, so if they didn't add an extra key, you would end up being one key short and you'd miss out on something. Right, so now that I have this key, I need to head to a location you're probably not expecting. See if you can guess which of the game's existing locations I'm going to for content named Godmaster. You know, it implies it's going to be something grand and beautiful and gold. And, well, I'm going to the Royal Waterways. I'm going to the sewers. Thankfully, I can get there quite quickly from here. Just got to make my way down through the City of Tears. That's probably going to be the quickest route. Actually, would the Kingdom's Edge route be quicker? Probably, yeah, because I can just drop down. Doesn't bring me to the right part of the waterways, but the waterways aren't exactly big. Thought I was going to say it's in the beginning town. No. No, the beginning town would probably be a more fitting location for it. I don't quite understand why they put this stuff in the sewers, but yeah, it is what it is. You know, I really probably should have equipped the compass so I could actually tell where I'm going. Because I don't make this route very often, so I can't really remember the way there. Here we go, I believe this is the way. No. Oh no, it's further down, isn't it? Yeah, that's just where Cornifer was hiding. Right, so I'm over on the right side here. I want to get over to the left, don't I? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I really should have equipped the compass. Too late now. Oh god, hello. Don't want to be dealing with you guys. You are a distraction. A distraction that I don't need. As I view things. Does this go back? This might go back. No, that is just a soul totem. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay, so that gets me across. Now, how do I get from here to where I'm trying to go? Is it in Fluke's Mom's Arena? Is that where I'm going again? I really can't remember. Ow. I know it's something to do with the Flukes. Right, I'm near the bench now anyway, so if I quickly head over there, I can equip the compass and then work out where I'm going. Here's the bench up here. Yeah, it's this way. Okay, I think I did a bit of a big circle there that I didn't need to do. Right, so let's swap out. Don't need that anymore. Now I've dealt with the lurker. Let's go compass. Where's the compass again? There it is. God, why did I buy Salubra? She is really annoying. Okay, so... yeah, I think I'm heading down to where the Fluke stuff is. I don't know if I'm going all the way to Fluke Mom's Arena, though. Ow. I was hoping to time that to kill the bottom half. It didn't quite work out. Oh my god, hello. Okay, I'm definitely along the right lines here. Is it further down? It might not be further down, actually. It might be on this level. Okay, no, I don't think it is. I think it is further down. Oh, hello. Okay, it might actually be in Fluke Mom's arena. I think that might be where they added the breakable wall. Those screams remind you a bit of the Redead screams in the N64 Zeldas. They're not quite the same, but I do sort of see where you're coming from, yeah. Hold on. Are we up here? Or, no, that's just a way out, I think. Hold on, what is this? Ooh. Okay, no, that just loops back to there. Okay, so I could have taken that shortcut and not dealt with all of those flukes. Okay. I got a bit of essence off of one of the fluke babies. Okay. Didn't realise they could dream. Right, I think... Where is this? Okay, I genuinely don't remember where I need to go. It's not signposted very well, this. I do remember that. Like, I'm not sure how they actually expected someone to find this. Okay, no, I am way off here. I literally didn't have to deal with any of those flukes. It's right at the start of the fluke area. There it is. I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I'm just not sure why you'd expect this kind of content to be here. That's the thing that confuses me the most. Anyway, this room is a maze of sorts, filled with all kinds of flukes, and there is a new kind in here. I believe these things are called fluke mongers, and I kind of love them. Just don't think about what is coming out of the behind of them. They do 2 damage. They are quite powerful, and they're actually quite hard to deal with without Sharp Shadow, I find. They're probably my favourite of the fluke enemies, just because they don't make all those disgusting noises. They actually make quite a charming noise. And then I think there might be another breakable wall. I don't think it's just that one. I think you have to go through 2. Okay, that's a shortcut. Okay, we're here. Was that breakable ceiling to get there hinted at anywhere, or are you just expected to find it randomly on your own? I'm not actually sure. I found it on my first playthrough because I was told to by someone that had played the game before. I was told that's where it was. I don't know how people first found this. I don't know if it was mentioned in the press release for the DLC, or if people were just expected to find it. I might look into that after stream and see what comes up. But anyway, this area is probably the single biggest room in the game. This is the junk pit. And it has one of my favourite backgrounds in the game just because of how many layers there are. You can actually see the fungal wastes just about back there. And there's a big old thing here in the junk pit. I will deal with that in just a second. I would like to actually explore this area a little bit and just show off what sort of stuff is here. I know there's something higher up, but I can't remember how you get there. Okay, I think I have to go over to the left first. There's lots of treasure chests here, not really much in them though. 3DS homebrew port that gives the layers 3D depth when... I mean, that would actually be really cool. I don't think it would be that tricky to make the game run on 3DS. You'd have to, like, cut some of the visuals a little bit, but it's not exactly the most demanding game. Yeah, up here we go. There's a little crack in the wall. And then somewhere in here, I can't remember if it's behind a breakable wall or not. Are we in the fungal waste now? No, technically not. Right, I think down here? Yeah, here we go. This is breakable. And then there is a new NPC hiding here. They don't do anything, they're basically just here for lore and character reasons, but this is the Fluke Hermit. Stronger, gla gla, bigger, mother. Gla gla, grow and grow, nice and wet. Noisy, gla gla, scary, up up, stay here, gla. Gla gla, mother sends treasure, gather it up. Safe, gla, little sisters, gla gla. Stronger, gla gla, bigger, mother. So, basically, the Fluke Hermit just proves that the Flukes are capable of sentience, which means they choose to live in the sewers, they choose to scream like wild things. They weren't just made that way, they're doing that on purpose. You wonder if one day the Sonic Mania 3DS port developer will manage to make the special stages hardware accelerated. Hopefully. Hopefully that's able to happen. Right, if I carry on this way, I would like to show where this connects to, because if I'm remembering correctly, despite using the tile set for the fungal wastes, this doesn't connect to the fungal wastes. Yeah, this actually connects to the City of Tears. Right by where the nailsmith lives. Bit of a strange connection, but it's a nice little shortcut. Anyway, that's the junk pit basically dealt with. It is time to get on to the main event. I've got a key. Let's open the lock. Collected the God Tuner. Device that resonates with beings of great power. Seek the gods of Hallownest. Tune their power, through their strength ascend. So this is the God Seeker. They're not dead, but I can enter their dream. Blasphemy! Rank blasphemy! Thou crawler! Thou cringer! Thou smallest of small! By what right dost thou trespass here, in this home of the gods? Shrivel away, and begone! Begone! Welcome to Godhome. This is where the entirety of the Godmaster DLC takes place. Why a place like this is hidden in the sewers, I will never understand, but we're here now, it's fine. So, I'm going to quickly head over to a bench. I'm just going to ignore all of this that's going on. I believe there's a bench up this way. Yep, there we go. And now that I'm here, I'm going to switch over to my main file. So, let's head back to the title screen. I thought you might enjoy Cringer, Ben. So, there's actually two ways to access Godhome. I've just shown you the first way. The second way, if you get about halfway through the Godmaster content, you unlock a new type of game mode called Godmaster, and that will basically act as sort of a New Game Plus. It will start you in Godhome. You can't leave it, but you will have all of the charms, all of the upgrades, that sort of thing. So if you don't want to deal with replaying the game, you just want to do the Godmaster stuff again, for whatever reason, if that's your kind of challenge, you are able to do that. That's not my sort of thing, though, so I'm going to jump back into my regular file. Here in Godhome, there are two main sorts of challenges. The more important of the two, and the first of the two, are the Pantheons. So, there are 5 Pantheons in total, and each one is a boss rush. The first 3 will open when you've beaten all of the respective bosses inside them, just wherever they are in the actual game. The 4th one will only unlock when you beat the first 3, and then the 5th and final one will only unlock when you beat the 4th. The first 4 have 10 bosses each. The 5th one has about 42, if I'm remembering the total correctly. The first 4 I quite enjoy. They're basically just challenges progressing in difficulty. Each one is roughly based on a bit of the game. So this one's the early game, this is like the mid game, starting to get into the late game here, and then this is like the post game DLC boss stuff. The final Pantheon pits you against essentially every single boss in the game in a massive boss rush. It is intense. I've beaten the first 4 Pantheons. I've not beaten the 5th one legitimately. I technically have the achievement because I figured out how to cheat it, but I've not done it legitimately, and I will stand up and admit to that. The players who are able to do that are, honestly, they deserve recognition because it takes a ton of skill. So, I figure I should probably show off how these Pantheons work by challenging one of them. And because I'm lazy and I want an easy challenge, I'm going to challenge the first one. Let me just take a quick look at my charms. That is not the best setup there, so let me just rework this a bit. I think, yeah, get rid of Grub Song, and then I think I'm going to put Spell Twister on as well. Yeah, there we go. That's a fairly standard build there. So, let's jump into the first Pantheon. The Pantheon of the Master. You'll notice that there are these things called bindings. What these are essentially extra challenges. They will restrict you in various ways if you choose to put them on. Nail, I believe, removes all of your nail upgrades, so you will only have the base level of damage. Shell, I believe, cuts your health, so you'll only have half health. Charms make it so that charms don't have any effect. And Soul, I believe, cuts the amount of soul that you can store in half. Godmaster is hard enough as is. The people that choose to use the bindings are crazy. They are madmen. But you do actually get something for putting on the bindings. the more bindings you do on the first 4 Pantheons, you will unlock Lifeblood in the final Pantheon, which will make the final Pantheon slightly easier. Anyway, so, starting off with the Vengefly King here, this guy is not a hard boss. Honestly, I hesitate to even call him a boss. Oh, shit. He is essentially just a glorified mini-boss. But they were pretty comprehensive with the bosses that they pulled into this place. They really don't leave anyone out, so I guess we can forgive him for being hit. So, the basic lore idea of Godmaster is that this being called the Godseeker, who has a pretty powerful control over dreams, not quite as strong as the Radiance, has come to Hallownest seeking what it calls the gods. Now, they're not literally gods, but basically just any being that is considerably powerful is considered a god by the Godseeker. So basically, the bosses of the game are what it considers gods. Why it doesn't consider me a god, considering I've killed them all, I don't know, but it really does not like the Knight. And what it aims to do is to attune with these gods, and the idea is it will draw power from them, but at the same time it will make them more powerful as well. Got him, nice. Okay, Gru's Mother is a lot easier with Sharp Shadow, I'll tell you that. Not that Gru's Mother is a hard boss to begin with, but you know. Oh, okay. Didn't time that very well. There we go. My favourite thing about the Godmaster DLC is that they actually watch you as you fight, and they follow you around the arena with their eyes. It's a really cool little detail. And while I do find the main Godseeker annoying, like character-wise, once you start talking to them, they're a massive snob, I find the little ones kind of cute. Right, it's probably False Knight next, I expect. Yeah, here we go. False Knight is really easy with late game upgrades. Come on, turn around, there we go. Oh god, I forgot about the boulders. You're going to do the shockwave. Pretty easy for me to dodge. Let's take you down. Who's going to be next? Maybe Massive Moss Charger? I think might be number 4. I think Hornet is the halfway boss. Yeah, Massive Moss Charger, okay. I might have the right charms to do the cheese strat for this guy now. Yeah, here we go. Massive Moss Charger, once you have Quick Slash, is kind of pathetic. Okay, so Hornet. Hornet has a new battle theme. Let's listen. I really do like the new remix of Hornet's theme. It's very grand and sort of angelic. And considering that we now know she's royalty, I think it fits her quite well. I think I do prefer her normal battle theme more. I think just character-wise it fits her more. But this new one is really nice. I'm glad they added it. They didn't have to. And it does fit Godhome quite well. She's not the only boss to get a new battle theme, I believe. The only one that I can remember, I think the Mantis Lords get a new one as well. But we'll be hearing that for a different reason. Anyway, you get a rest stop after boss number 5. And then you carry on with the next 5 bosses. So Gorb should not be any trouble at all. So there is new boss music. I believe there's 2 new just regular boss themes for Godhome. To be honest, I don't really rate either of them. I think just the regular boss themes are better. They're not bad bits of music by any means, it's just personal preference, really. Okay, there we go, that's Gorb taken care of. I'm not sure who will be following him. Ah, Dung Defender, nice. Let's get him out early. Sorry, Dung Defender. The game requires that I bully you. I don't want to. I wish you had your regular battle theme. I don't know why Hornet gets a fancy new one and you can't even have your normal one. Your normal one is so much better. Right, so that's boss number 7. 8, maybe Crystal Guardian? No, Soul Warrior. Okay, Soul Warrior is pretty easy. Oh, Sharp Shadow destroys those. Okay, I didn't know that. That's actually quite handy to know. I assume the same is probably not the case for the versions in the Radiance fight. Okay, that's him taken care of. He is also not really a boss. He's more of a mini-boss. Oh, Brooding Morlek. Okay, that's surprising. That is a pretty big step up in difficulty for the bosses we've seen in this Pantheon so far. I probably would have put Brooding Morlek in the second one myself. Oh, shit. You know, I say that, and now I'm just completely eating shit against Brooding Morlek. Okay. Oh, no, I thought I'd killed it. Shit. Oh, come on, I'm not going to die to Brooding Morlek, am I? That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Oh, just take away my Hollow Knight card. I'm not allowed to be a fan anymore. It's fine dying to him, like, in a regular playthrough, but in the Pantheons... Okay, I do want to get to the end of a Pantheon, so I'm going to try this again. There's a reason I picked an easy one. I'm not with it today. Did not sleep very well last night. Can you, like, stop going up there, please? Oh, hello. Hey, Rockcastle Hour. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Let me give you a quick shout-out. How was your stream? What were you playing? Oh, Hollow Knight as well. Nice. I guess that's how you found me. So, for those of you who have come across to the stream, my name is Ben. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. On Wednesday, I wrapped up my playthrough of Hollow Knight that I was doing for stream. And today, I'm basically just showing my viewers what Godmaster is like, because I can't be bothered to play through... I can't be bothered to play through it fully, because it takes too long, but I did want to show it off, because, you know, they put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, it's nice to meet you too. I hope you're doing well. If you are here expecting pro Hollow Knight gameplay, you've maybe not come to the right place. As you can tell by the fact that I've taken damage to Vengefly King. I suppose at least I didn't die to Vengefly King. I definitely would have quit the game if that happened. You've given the same disclaimer, fair enough. As long as I'm not alone. Makes me feel a little bit better. Got him, nice. But yeah, how was your stream? How far through the game are you? Is this your first playthrough? Have you played it before? And if it is your first playthrough, what do you think of it? How have you been finding it? And if it's not, I mean, then I assume you probably do quite like the game quite a bit if you're playing through it again. Oh shit, hello. Yeah, I think just having that disclaimer is a good thing to have. For anyone who's not a speedrunner. I mean, to be fair, I would say usually I am quite good at this game. It's just the minute I hit that record button, it doesn't matter what game I'm playing. All of my skill goes out the window. That's true with a lot of things in just real life as well. I can be really good at something, but the moment someone's watching me, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not good at this anymore. It's your first playthrough, about 15 hours in or so. Nice. I'm making good progress then. Let me just read the rest of that message. You like it quite a bit, but it doesn't like you much, unfortunately. Yeah, it can be a very punishing game on a first playthrough while you're learning to play it. Stream went well, but you had to conquer some of your oncoming dementia. Oof. Well, I hope you were able to conquer it successfully. Yeah, hopefully there won't be... I mean, to be honest, there will probably be quite a lot of spoilers in today's stream. We're going to be seeing some very late game bosses later on. But if you don't mind that, then, yeah, by all means, welcome on in. Hope you have a good time here. This is one of my favourite games of all time, so I talk about it a lot. I play it a lot. Right, let's try and cheese you again, Moss Charger. You might not be seeing them all, fair enough. Come on. Cheese has not quite worked as well this time. That is an embarrassing amount of damage to take on Moss Charger. And yeah, thank you for the good luck. Yeah, so as my bot has just quite helpfully pointed out there, me and my fellow streamer friends, we do have a little Discord community if you're interested in. I would say we're fairly active in there, talking about the games we enjoy, keeping everyone updated on our streams and stuff. You don't have to join if you don't want to, but the option's there. Right, I don't have to be quite as careful against Hornet here because she is the halfway boss. I do get a heal after this. As long as I don't die to her. Okay, I am going to heal here a little bit, though. It's getting a little bit close. You'll definitely pop in. Nice. Always nice to see someone new join, and thank you for the follow. That is really appreciated. Okay, nice. Oh, shit, she's coming down. Lovely stuff. Right, actually, I'm going to hold on to my soul. I don't even need to because there's a hot spring here, but, you know. Don't really feel like changing charm, so don't really need the bench. I believe it was Gorb next. Yep, good old Gorb. Okay, stop jumping into Gorb, then. I love Gorb. I love the noises he makes. Okay, not quite on 3 spikes yet. There we go. Got to be a little bit more careful now. I lost way too much health to Gorb last time. Okay, Dung Defender. An actually fun boss fight, unlike Gorb. I love Gorb as a character, but good boss fight, he is not. Oh, you're coming all the way over, okay. Second phase. Okay, that was kind of bullying. I feel really mean. Sorry, Dung Defender. I do love you. Blame the Godseeker for making me fight you. Right, Soul Warrior. Oh, ow. Got a nice little cheeky shot in there, didn't you? Kind of missed something. Is this the same thing again? So I lost the first attempt, so I'm doing it again, basically. Is what's going on. I lost because I'm bad at the game, even though I shouldn't be. Okay, let's not die to Brooding Morlek this time. Ugh! Oh god. Bit of a cheeky hit you got there. Okay, I feel like he's got to be nearly dead. I forgot how much health this guy had. Got him, nice. Okay, one more boss, I believe, before the second break. No! Okay, we're on the second break now. I guess there's only 9 bosses in this one. Thou return to this pantheon, though thou hast already ascended to its height. No, wait, no, I've just miscounted. That was boss number 9. Be this some strange way of drawing thyself closer to the gods, or do thee test thyself for sport? Okay, so every pantheon ends in a completely new boss fight. We're fighting one of the Nail Masters. This is Oro. You should remember him. He has the Dash Slash. Oh, God. He is a fair step up from the rest of the bosses in this pantheon. Oh, fuck. Ah! Okay, I am genuinely expecting to die to this guy. It's been a long time since I've fought him. I really can't remember how to fight him. Anyway, once you knock him down, Mato joins in as well. The two rival brothers have put aside their differences to kick the shit out of you. And whereas Oro has the Dash Slash, Mato has the Cyclone Slash. Oh my god. Oh, hello. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to die to these two. Fuck, 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 fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, them adding new bosses is a really, really cool addition. I'm definitely glad that they did. Okay, I lost that. But we saw a new boss, so I'm pretty satisfied to say that is what the Pantheons look like. Usually I can run through the first Pantheon pretty easily. Or at least I was able to when I was playing the game more regularly years ago. But I'm very out of practice with some of the newer bosses in it. So that is why I lost to Oro and Mato there. But yeah, it's really cool that you actually get to fight the Nail Masters, because aside from the bosses you actually do fight, they are implied to be some of the strongest characters in the game. And they're basically just there to give you new moves. You don't ever actually get to fight them in the regular game. It's a cool little thing. Anyway, now that that has been shown off, I believe it's time to show off the second half of the Godmaster DLC, because boss rushes, if you're not really that familiar with the bosses, getting back to the one you struggle with can be a bit of a pain. So you're not really able to practice them properly in a boss rush, and that is where the Hall of Gods comes in. So, in here, every single boss, except for the Hollow Knight and Radiance, because you can fight them as many times as you want anyway, is rematchable. And there are 3 difficulties for each boss fight. Who do I think would be a good example to show this off with? Probably the False Knight, actually, yeah. So, there are 3 difficulties: Attuned, Ascended, and Radiant. Attuned is just the regular boss fight, basically. So I'll quickly show this off. You dread to think how bad you do if you tried the Kid Icarus Uprising boss rush mode. I tried that years ago. I was really bad at it. I don't think I got very far at all. But yeah, if you love that game, Rocastle, I would definitely follow Pigeon. He is currently streaming through it. I believe he's just finished Chapter 8. Very smooth plug. It did come up kind of naturally there, didn't it? I'm quite proud of that one. Okay, so, Ascended makes sense. It's just a standard boss. You can practice it. No, sorry, that was Attuned, not Ascended. Ascended does double damage. Some bosses also get new arenas. False Knight is not one of those. I will show off one of those after. I just want to show off a regular Ascended boss first. I believe they also have more health in their Ascended forms as well. So False Knight now is basically the False Champion. He does 2 damage. He's not quite as hard as the False Champion is. The False Champion on Ascended does 4 damage, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, I find the Ascended bosses in particular are a really good way to practice them. Because they're harder than what you'd fight in the Pantheons, so if you can get these guys down pretty consistently, the ones in the Pantheon should be no problem. Okay, I need to be more careful. I don't know why I went I don't know why I went that close to him when he was doing that. Half of my problem when I play this game is carelessness. I think that's my problem in a lot of things in life, actually. Oh, shit. Okay, and I've got him. Nice. Okay, and then we have the third and final difficulty. Radiant. You know how I said the Hidden Dreams rematches, where they progressively do more and more damage, get made redundant later on? Yeah, that's because of Radiant. 1 hit will kill you. There is no room for error in these fights. I believe they also have the same amount of health as their Ascended versions. And if they do have a changed Ascended arena, they will have that same arena in their Radiant form as well. The Radiant bosses, depending on the boss, can either be really fun or really fucking aggravating. False Knight, I would say, is one of the fun ones. He's a pretty well-designed boss fight. Oh shit. There we go. There's your proof. You die in 1 hit. I would like to give that another go. I know that I can beat this guy in Radiant. I only died there because my finger slipped and I accidentally pressed the dodge button and dodged right into his attack. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using the Radiant versions to practice for the Pantheons because it's a very different kind of strategy. Like, sometimes tanking damage to get a hit in can be the difference between winning and losing a boss fight in the Pantheons, which obviously you can't do that on Radiant. Okay, that was... I can't blame finger slipping on that one, that was just stupid. Okay, if I can't beat this by 5 goes, I'm just going to move on. This is attempt number 3, I believe. Ugh! Should probably have gone under him there. Would have been a bit safer. Okay, nice. One more phase. Oh, that boulder was close. Nearly got me. That would have been a really stupid way to die. Oh shit, okay. So yeah, that is a Radiant boss fight. As I mentioned, some bosses have different arenas for their Ascended and Radiant versions, and those arenas can actually make quite a bit of a difference in the fight, and they can turn it into a completely different fight. And I have the perfect guy to show off what sort of changes they implemented, because most of these kind of suck. So, you remember Markov? You remember how much I already hated fighting this guy? Well, what if he didn't have a fucking floor? Like, what the fuck is this? Where's the floor? This guy is already super difficult. RNG bullshit. You can already get into situations where it's impossible to not take damage. With a floor! And now they want you to do it without the fucking floor. I'm sorry, but... Not all of the Ascended versions are this bad. Markov is definitely the worst of them, but I have no idea what they were thinking when they made this fight. This fight is genuinely fucking awful. And what's worse is... in the final Pantheon, the one where you have to fight all 42 bosses, every single boss has their Ascended arena. They don't do Ascended damage, thankfully, but in amongst all of the actually, like, well-designed hard boss fights, you have to fight Markov with no floor, and it's not fun, it's not fair, and Team Cherry, I will never forgive you for this. Like, after this, Silksong really better be fucking good, because you've put me through some bullshit here. So yeah, for me, beating all the bosses on Radiant is basically impossible, because I would not be able to do Markov. Just straight up, and there's certain other bosses I always get hit on as well. I know people online who have done every single boss on Radiant, and they are madmen. I don't know how they do it. Anyway, there's one more mechanic here that I'd like to show off that's not strictly part of Godmaster, but I find that for the Radiant bosses, it actually helps quite a bit. And it's a mechanic known as overcharming. Basically, as long as you have one free notch left, you aren't limited to putting on one-notch charms. I could, for example, put on a 3-notch charm. However, in doing so, I become overcharmed. What this means is that I will take double damage, essentially. So, if I get hit in a normal boss fight, I'll take 2 damage. If I get hit in an Ascended boss fight, I will take 4 damage. But I find overcharming is really, really useful for Radiant, because you die in one hit anyway, so you might as well get the extra bonus from having an extra charm equipped. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just whack Grub Song on here, I think. So I would like to go through all of the Pantheon bosses now, all of the new ones. Show them off, give about maybe 5 attempts of each. Either until I do 5 attempts or until I beat them. I'm not interested in sitting here until I beat all of them, because there's a lot to show off, and this isn't a proper playthrough, so I don't feel like I have to beat them. I just want to showcase them, because there's some pretty cool bosses here. So, before I get to the ones that end the Pantheons, I actually want to talk a little bit about Pantheon 5. Because certain bosses, for whatever reason, you don't fight in Pantheon 5. There's 2 of them. Instead, you fight a new variant. So, Nosk has been replaced with Winged Nosk. Now, Nosk wasn't my favourite boss fight. I think it was mostly carried by its atmosphere. But, Winged Nosk is considerably worse. For some reason, Nosk is now Hornet. And it's gone from being a unique boss fight to basically just Vengefly King, but harder. And with a really bad hitbox. Like, the hitbox on Winged Nosk's wings is genuinely really awful. So yeah, I'm really not sure what they were thinking with this one. Because it is just straight up a downgrade. Oh yeah, and it can also summon the infected bubbles now as well for some reason. Nosk couldn't do that. That was something the Broken Vessel did. Looks like Ridley. It kind of does a bit, actually, yeah. Okay, I think equipping Defender's Crest here would probably really help. Okay, going up into the ceiling. You still do that. That hitbox is really shit. That's not just me johnning, that is quite a common complaint with this boss. The hitbox is just genuinely terrible. Right, I'm going to go equip Defender's Crest because that will make dealing with this guy a lot easier. Of the new bosses, I would say Winged Nosk is definitely the worst one. There's another one that gives him a run for his money. But just because of the nature of the changes to Winged Nosk, and just the fact that I don't understand why they've made these changes, I think Winged Nosk does take the crown for being the worst one. I can do it, mate. We'll see. Thank you for the vote of confidence, though. Oh, god damn it. Okay, now I have this, I should just be able to focus on what Nosk himself is doing. Or maybe it's herself. He has taken the form of Hornet, so maybe the females have wings, maybe that's what they're going for here. That attack is also a lot more irritating than normal Nosk's version. Okay, there we go. He's not a hard boss, he's just a bad boss. Really don't know why they changed Nosk. Don't understand it. The other boss that got a new variant, though. Oh, it is so much better. It is so much better. And I can't remember if it plays in this version or if it's exclusive to the Pantheon. But they get a new version of their theme as well. I think it might kick in the second phase of the fight. The Mantis Lords have been replaced with the Sisters of Battle. And oh my god, it's one of the best fights in the game. Okay, we're starting with the regular theme. So, it starts off... actually, you know what? I don't really want Defender's Crest equipped. I should have taken it off. So it starts off looking pretty much exactly like the regular Mantis Lords fight. Also, welcome Sam. Welcome back from your lurk. How are you doing? How's it going? Yeah, pretty well. Showing off one of my favourite bosses. So I'm quite familiar with the Mantis Lords. This should be fine. Let's get a cheeky heal in here. And the two get up, but so does the third. I love this boss so much. I love the new theme as well. It's just so much more intense. The Mantis Lords were already one of the best boss fights in the game. And there's always that little part of me that was like, oh, what if you thought all three of them at once? How would that be? And it is amazing. It's incredibly chaotic, but in the best kind of way. I really, really do enjoy this boss fight. Right, I want to go all in on damage here because there is basically no opportunity to heal. So let's put Shaman Stone on. And let's give that a few more goes. But yeah, just the way the third one stands up and then they all just like crack their fingers, it's like, oh my god, shit's about to get real. It does start to get easier and basically returns to the normal version of the fight once you beat one of them. But I think that's fine. I think it's worth it to just have a little bit of de-escalation just for just how triumphant that second phase is. Thank you for the good luck, Sam. Okay. In come all three of them. But yeah, unlike Winged Nosk, this kicking in the Pantheon is really cool. Like, it's a really cool moment. It's like just a really cool reveal. But yeah, just even more than the regular fight, you just have to have the rhythm down perfectly. I think on Radiant, this genuinely might be the hardest fight in the game. Maybe not, but it's definitely up there. Just because there is no room for error whatsoever. And as you can see, I need a lot of error. I think it helps that the Mantises only have a couple of moves. So you don't really feel screwed by certain combos because you've only got a couple of things you really need to prepare for after each move. It's like, there, you know that one's probably coming down from above, so you need to give yourself room to move. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I think this run is nearly over. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I need to stop getting hit on this first phase. I think my best bet is to build up as much soul on this first phase as possible. And just kind of spam spells. Okay. Let's go. Actually, that bit of air lag from the spell really helped there as well. Kept me from falling into the next one. Oh, poo. I was going to pogo off him and then he moved. Or she moved, sorry. The Mantis Lords are female. Oh, Jesus Christ! You really got to thread the needle on this one. I was hoping for the iframes of Descending Dark Bear and I didn't quite time it right. Jesus. Right, you can get hit. Oh my god. Yeah, you're coming in. Knew that. The projectiles protected you from a hit there, though, which is unfortunate. Okay, got 2 in 1 there. Oh my god, it's right above me. Jeez! Oh god. Okay, if the third one would like to die any moment now, I need a breather. Okay, one of them's down, one of them's down, one of them's down. So quick pause, quick pause. Don't lose focus. And these two should be on relatively low health because I've already done a ton of damage to them. I'm also on low health. My hands are so sweaty right now. Oh my god. Oh god. I forgot they slightly home on that. Come on, don't die now. I've beaten 3 of them. Okay, one of them's down. There's only one left, and I've got a window here. Oh! I don't know if you can really see, but my god, they are glistening. That boss fight. There are definitely bosses that I would say are harder, because they just have more demanding movesets. But I don't think there's any that's more intense than that one, just because of how fast you have to be to keep up with all of them. But it's a really fun boss fight, though. I really do love it. Right, so that is the bonus bosses taken care of. On to the main bosses of the Pantheons now. So we've already seen one of them. I will count that as the first attempt. So let's go and give Oro and Matto a second attempt. And I think you might have been lurking when I fought this one, Sam. But basically, you get to fight the Nail Masters. You've got to fight 2 of them at once. So this is the boss of the Pantheon of the Master. The first Pantheon. So, starting with Oro, as we know, we've already seen this. So Oro himself alone should not be too difficult. Just gotta really concentrate, and I was not concentrating very well on my Pantheon run. Problem I have with these bosses, and it's not an issue with the boss itself, it's just an issue with my skill, is that they have quite a wide reach. Their range is a lot bigger than yours, and they're very fast. So I have a lot of trouble dealing with that. Okay, blatantly, his nail was below me when it hit me there. That's a bit of a hitbox issue. Now, my one issue with this boss fight is I don't think this should have been the Pantheon 1 boss fight. All of the other Pantheon 1 bosses are early game, and really easy. And I would say that the Pantheon 2 boss is a lot easier than this one, and they should have swapped those two, basically. I do get why they put this one first, because the second one is a variant of the Nailmaster boss, and so they wanted you to fight a basic Nailmaster first, but 2 at once is a bit much for that first Pantheon, I think. Most of my time trying to beat Pantheon 1 was just dealing with this guy. Okay, coming in for the Great Slash, wasn't able to avoid it. Okay, Oro is down. Just Matto. Just gotta survive. Urgh. Oh my god. Okay, that was not a good time to heal. Okay, got it, nice. But yeah, that's a really fun boss fight. To me, it feels like a better version of what the Watcher Knights was going for. They have very similar movesets. I just feel they sync up a lot better than the Watcher Knights do, because they were designed to be fought together from the start, unlike the Watcher Knights. So, the boss of Pantheon 2, as I alluded to during that one, is a variant of the Nailmaster fight. We're now going to be fighting the third of the Nailmasters, Shio, though, as we know, he has abandoned the nail and picked up the paintbrush instead. This is the boss of the second Pantheon, the Pantheon of the Artist. This is Paint Master Shio. Now, I would say this boss is easier than Oro and Matto, but I also think it's cooler, because he will shoot out these blobs of paint, and all of his attacks are color-coded. So you can just kind of use the color to tell what move he's going to do, and plan accordingly. Okay, that's going to be a big explosion. Yeah. Okay, going for the Great Slash there. Okay, that blue attack is quite annoying. Oh god, he did not give me much time to heal there at all. What I also really like about this boss fight is that the paint lingers on the battlefield. It's just a really cool visual effect. Like, it's the sort of effect you'd expect to see in Splatoon, not Hollow Knight. And I think it makes this boss fight really unique. Okay. Oh, that's got a lot of range, that one. Okay. Got him, nice. Yeah, he is easier than Oro and Matto. Some might find him harder because he's got more projectiles to him. But I find dealing with projectiles easier than dealing with two bosses at once. So, going off of the trend of the first two Pantheon bosses, you can probably put together who the boss of the third Pantheon is. This is the boss of the Pantheon of the Sage, the third Pantheon, Nail Sage Sly. The little shopkeeper gets a boss fight. Now this one took me a long time to actually get used to how to fight, because his hitbox is a lot bigger than his hurtbox, and that can be really difficult to play around. You've really got to wait for the right opportunity to attack here. Oh god, I forgot about that move. So his moveset is basically a variation of the other three bosses. The other two, sorry, except he's a lot smaller, but has a much bigger sword. It's basically like fighting Yoda. Okay, he's going for the Cyclones. Oh my god. Okay, oh my god. Yeah, I'd say difficulty-wise, he's a pretty decent step up from the Nailmasters, which makes sense. He did train them. So you'd expect him to be a bit harder. Oh. I did not mute in time there at all. I think I'm toggled my webcam off instead of muting. Oh my god, his version of the Cyclone Slash is really annoying. Okay, I think spells are probably the way to go with this guy, because he does not have many openings at all. Okay, nice. I definitely need to heal right now. Oh my god. That range just takes a lot of getting used to. Yeah, and the backswing. Always forget about the backswing. Oh dear. Have I got him? No, I think he has a second phase. Yeah, here we go. I cannot remember how to fight the second phase. So, the Yoda comparison was already pretty apt. Now even more so. Honestly, I don't really remember when you're meant to be able to hit this guy. Ugh. Okay, maybe Sharp Shadow. Ugh. Okay. 3 more attempts. That second stage is a doozy. Oh, the backswing, can't forget. Okay, got a little bit greedy there. Cyclone Slash. Oh, okay, got greedy again. I think that does 2 damage as well. Okay, don't go for the 3 heal there. You don't have time. And the backswing, yep. Okay, this run is not going very well. Okay, I can heal a little bit here. Problem is I don't have much health going into phase 2 when it comes along. And it's here. And I genuinely don't remember how to fight this phase. Now, this can't be the intended way, because they wouldn't require you to have Sharp Shadow to damage him. But I genuinely don't know how you're meant to hit him here. So yeah, for me, this boss does lose points for that second phase. It's hard, but I don't know that it's hard in a good way. I quite like the first phase of the fight. Like, I wouldn't say the massive range is a problem. It's just like a unique thing you've got to play around, and it makes him quite unique. Makes him stand out. But that second phase is just... like, I genuinely don't know when you're meant to attack. Okay, let's get the heals in here. Okay, going for the buzzsaw. Oh, Cyclone Slash did not do the right thing there. Thankfully, he doesn't have too much health. I think that is the saving grace of this boss fight. Okay, I definitely need some heals. Ugh! Okay, second phase. Let's think about this. How do I beat him? I guess there is that moment before he starts buzzsawing, but... yeah, I do not remember how you're meant to beat that. There's got to be a trick to it. But it's been a long while since I've done this fight. And I don't remember what that trick is. Okay, one more attempt and then I'll move on. Yeah, I stand by what I've said. I do think that second phase ruins the fight a little bit. It just... when are you meant to attack? It's not clear at all. It's hard, but it doesn't feel hard because it's a well-designed fight, unlike something like Grim. It just feels hard because it's not clear what you're meant to do, and you have no time to figure that out because he's so fast. Maybe that's a skill issue. I don't know. I think you guys saw how I handled Grim last time. Like, there's no skill issues going on here. You know that I can Hollow Knight. Okay. Right, you know what? To give me an actual chance on this attempt, I'm going to look up how you're meant to beat him. So I do remember being stuck on him for quite a while on my first playthrough. So basically I just need to dodge and attack in that split second that he's there. Okay, that doesn't really seem very feasible, but okay. Okay, this is actually kind of working. Almost. Okay, so there's definitely a trick to it. Okay, there we go. Okay, once you know the trick, that's not too bad. I don't know. I think half of that boss fight I really like is a fun spin on what the Nailmasters were doing. The second phase... I feel like they're going for a similar thing to what the Soul Master did, where you have that Psych Out second phase, where he's constantly aggressive. The difference is the Soul Master had a window where he would do a second attack that you could actually hit him during. Sly doesn't have that. So it's quite difficult for someone trying to learn the fight to even realise what you're meant to do. That's quite a tricky one. Anyway, moving on. This is the boss of the fourth Pantheon, the Pantheon of the Knights. It might look like the Hollow Knight, and technically it is. This is essentially a Dream Rematch style upgrade to the Hollow Knight, this is the pure vessel. This is the Hollow Knight in his heyday. Before he was infected, before he started falling apart. This guy is properly hard. He's not bullshit hard like Sly. He is properly hard. He is on the same level as Nightmare King Grim, I would say. Honestly, he might even be a little bit harder. He's not quite as rhythmic as Grim is, but I think he might be my favourite boss in the game. He is, once you get his moveset down, he is so fun and so satisfying to fight. It's been a little while since I've done this boss fight, so I can't promise that I'm going to beat him in these 5 attempts, but I'm going to give it a bloody good go. Really should be paying attention to my charms here. That's a pretty basic setup. I don't know that I'm going to get many opportunities to spell. I also won't get many to heal either, but I think I'm going to be nailing more. So I think I'm going to swap my Spell Twister for Unbreakable Strength. Just go for a full-on, like, melee build here. Salubra, fill me up, please. And then I'm going to mute for this one, because he has some unique music, and oh, it's good. It is really good. Yeah, we're going to mute again for the second attempt because that didn't last very long, did it? It was going so well at the start there, and then it just kind of fell apart. Okay, I think you get the gist with the music. It's a choir rendition of the theme that plays during the second phase of the regular Hollow Knight battle, and it's just so haunting sounding. I think the choir did, if it is a real choir, it might not be, but it's just a really, really haunting bit of music, and I think it fits this boss really well. It's one of my favourite boss themes in the game. It's very different to a lot of the others, but I think that works in its favour. Okay, so 2 more attempts of this guy. I don't think I'm going to beat him. That third attempt, though, was going pretty well for a bit there. All of my muscle memory from my many attempts of this guy are coming back to me. So, when I was fighting this guy on my first playthrough, it took me ages just to beat him here in the Hall of Gods. And then I had to go and beat him in the Pantheon as well. And it just... oh! I think most of my original playthrough is like 80 hours long. And I'm pretty sure 40 of those hours were just trying to beat this guy in the Pantheon. So, he is ingrained into my memory. Most of my memories of Hollow Knight eventually come back to this guy. But I think he's a really good boss fight, so I don't mind. I think he's definitely on the same level as Grim. I think I find him harder than Grim. With Grim, he has that rhythm to him, and I'm able to get into that flow state and go through the fight. I don't think the Pure Vessel has... he's not as rhythmic. I think his tells are just as clear and just as fair. But it feels more like a brutal showdown than a dance. And I think that rhythm really does help me with Grim. I'm not sure which of the 2 boss fights I prefer. It's one of them. One of them is my favourite boss in the game. I just can't quite decide which one it is. I probably fought Grim more because I actually do the Grim Troop quest more, whereas past my first playthrough, I don't really come to Godhome that much. Okay, that was... okay. Okay, that move I really struggle with for some reason. I'm not sure why. There we go. Okay, so I know I said I'd do 5 attempts of each one. But I do love fighting this guy, and because the attempts are a lot shorter, I think I'm going to give him 5 more. I think I'm going to go up to 10, just to see how I do. And just to pad out the stream for a little bit longer as well. Okay, here we go. Okay, I just need to be a little bit more patient with that move, I think. You know, I might get rid of Sharp Shadow, actually, and replace it. I think with Grim, a lot of his opportunities to attack open up with Sharp Shadow. I don't know if I feel like I quite need it as much here. Ooh, let's get away. Ooh, that was a cheeky heal there. That was not such a cheeky heal. I think that one you can heal if you're lucky enough to not spawn in one of the circles. Okay, I might have been talking too much during that attempt. Right. Attempt number 7, I believe this is. So, the second attempt of my second set of 5. Oh, okay, I really should have jumped there. My Shadow Dash hadn't quite recharged. Okay, probably should have tried to go over there. Okay, no, this attempt has gone into the bin quite quickly. It's a brutal fight. I will admit that. It's a fun one, but it's brutal. And would you believe me if I said that this guy and Grim are not the hardest fights in the game? Oh, that was close. I need to stop using my Shadow Dash for his projectile attack because I'm wasting it. Problem is I'm using it to get in and then be greedy with attacks, and then it's costing me after. Like that. Oh, that didn't cost me though that time. Oh, okay. I think like with Grim though, you kind of have to be aware of what attacks he can do so that you're ready to react outside of an attack once one's finished. Oh, okay. Like there, I just wasn't ready for him to come from above, and I probably should have been. Okay, 2 more attempts, I think. I will stop at 10. As much as I'm tempted to go to 15, I will stop at 10. Oh, okay. Not a great start, that. Okay, out. Okay, no, this is not a great attempt either. Might be able to salvage it with a heal here. I mean, that heal didn't really do much for me. Ugh. Ah, should not have gone for the counter there. That was a rookie mistake. Ugh. Okay, that was pretty dicey, but it paid off. Oh, poo. That was stupid. Should not have tried to get in a heal there. Ah, 1 more attempt, okay. At least I'm having fun with these attempts. I won't be saying that with the next one. Okay, oh, that was way too close there. That was also a little bit too close for my liking. Ah, poo. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Should not have gone for that attack. Yeah, okay. That was the final attempt. That didn't go very well. So yeah, I won't be beating him today. I have beaten him before, and I can prove that by the fact that I've unlocked the 5th Pantheon. But yeah, since this isn't a full playthrough of Godmaster, as much as I want to do a few more attempts, because he is fun, I'm going to put him down and move on. On to the boss of the 5th and final Pantheon. The Pantheon of Hallownest. I'm going to need to refill my drink before heading into this one. So, to paint a picture of this boss, you have seen me play through this entire game. You have seen me overcome some pretty tough challenges. Maybe not right away, but within a few attempts, or with Grim within, a pretty reasonable amount of time. I have never beaten this boss fight. Not legitimately, anyway. And I'm just talking about it in the Hall of Gods. I've not beat it on its own. I've never even come close to beating it in the Pantheon. I've not even reached it legitimately yet. I had to cheat to unlock it here so I could practice it. And I still couldn't beat it. This is... It says it's Radiance. This is not the Radiance. This is absolute Radiance. He is kind of like Pure Vessel in that he's a spec'd up dream version of the Radiance. But But he doesn't get a new design, he doesn't get new music or new attacks or anything like that. He's basically just the Radiance on crack. He's the Radiance sped up to ridiculous degrees. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of this boss fight. I get what they were going for here, trying to make a harder version of the final boss, but I think a little more care should have been taken. Because with the Radiance fight, it's fast and there is projectile spam. But there's never really opportunities where you get trapped by 2 attacks and just can't avoid something. That is not the case with Absolute Radiance. Attacks very often come out so fast that they overlap. And so sometimes you can use your Shadow Dash there and then just not have it when you need it. Even though you needed to use it the first time. Plus, there's also a glitch that can happen during the phase transition in this fight that can just instant kill you. And it's never been patched. And just the fact that a glitch like that exists in an already really hard fight, that you have to fight at the end of a really, really hard challenge, just does kind of piss me off a little bit. You're stressed just watching. Yeah, me, whenever I watch any playthroughs of this fight, I'm like that as well. They did add an extra phase to the end of this fight as well. But honestly, that extra phase is probably the least egregious part of this fight, because, I mean, I've never even gotten to that phase, and it's quite simple compared to the rest of the fight. Oh, but this... Yeah, this fight for me, it is the hardest fight in the game. And that's... I don't think there is any contest. That's not like an opinion thing, that is just a fact. But I think it... The original Radiance fight, I think, is a very well-designed and fair difficult boss. And it's not as hard as Pure Vessel and Grim, so it's not really on their level. This, though, I think it just transcends into, no, this is some bullshit. Like, I've seen people describe this boss fight as you basically need to be able to read the future. And I see exactly where they're coming from. And then, just like I said, there's that glitch as well, and I've seen someone have that glitch at the end of a Pantheon run that was going really well, and they were in a really good spot with the boss as well. I think they could have beaten it if the glitch hadn't happened. And it cost them an hour of their life, because going through that Pantheon is not quick. And that's where I kind of gave up on the dream of ever beating this. I think sometimes, as much as it hurts, sometimes... there is a point where you just have to admit, no, this is too hard for me. There are people that can do this. Like, it's not an impossible boss fight. Not by any means. But just the skill ceiling that it demands is ridiculously high. Oh, I hate this move. I hate these fucking homing balls. Okay, got a good hit in there. Thankfully, it doesn't do, like, 4 times damage. Because then it would be impossible, I think. It just sticks to the Radiance's regular double damage. Oh my god. Oh, fucking hell. Are you kidding me? Okay, that's 3 attempts, and I've not even got to the 3rd phase yet. Let alone phase 4 with all the platforms. I already struggle with that on the regular Radiance. I don't know how I'm ever going to do it on this version. I think attempting this fight is why I find regular Radiance so easy now. Because it feels like it's moving in slow motion. I think it is possible, because of the speed they're going at, to sort of flip between those without needing to dash. And I think that is part of the recommended strat for this boss, but I'm not very good at it. Okay, yeah, that was just an awful attempt. Okay, final attempt of Absolute Radiance. Okay, that's free. That's free as well. Okay. Okay, didn't really need to do that. That was free. Okay, now I'm starting to fuck it. Oh my god! Okay, okay, third phase. Oh shit, no, no, I'm losing it, I'm losing it, I'm losing it, I'm losing it, I'm losing it. Okay, third phase is not too bad. Always has been one of the easier phases of Radiance. Got a long opportunity to heal here as well. Phase 4, where it's all going to fall apart. Yeah, like dealing with this while you're platforming as well is just... What? Yeah, no, that's... Oh my god, I'm alive. How the fuck? Oh, okay, no, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm done with that. That was a pretty good attempt, but just phase 4, I can't do. I just straight up can't do. Okay, so we've seen a lot of bosses today, but there's one missing. Someone who is technically a boss fight, who has been denied his spot in the Hall of Gods. And that is Zote the Mighty, the Colosseum version, not Grey Prince Zote. Grey Prince Zote is here. But Zote the Mighty is not. Because alas, he does no damage to us. He was a fool in the Colosseum. He could not defeat us. Now, however, Zote is like a disease. He is not going to be so easily stopped. I just need to remember how to access this. Hold on, let me just double check how I actually get to this. Because it's kind of a really dumb way of getting there. It's quite difficult to do. So in the Hall of Gods, look at the third arch from the right at the top of the main room. Use a Crystal Heart dash from the right wall, followed by a double jump and a dash upwards to reach a hidden area. So I want to be on this side. So I think I want to do Crystal Dash here. Oh, yeah, there. I felt the wall. I felt the wall. I just wasn't quite high enough. Oh, no, bit of lag on my part there. Bit of lag in my brain. I don't know why they made this so annoyingly difficult to get to. There we go. So, despite being denied entrance by the Godseeker, Zote has found his way into the Hall of Gods. This is the eternal ordeal. So this Zote can actually hurt you. So you need to take him down. You need to be careful. Yeah, it is really well hidden. And it's not just one Zote. Listen to this music. So, when they say it's eternal, it is. That is basically an infinite survival mode against hordes of warped Zote monstrosities while he sings his own battle theme. Grey Prince was already weird enough. I don't know why they made this, but I'm kind of glad that they did. I want to try and give this a second go. So, if you're able to beat 57 Zotes, one for every precept, you do get a special reward. I have successfully done this before, and I will show the reward off after this attempt. Don't think I'm going to get anywhere near 57 today. I'm not going to give this the full 5 attempts either. I just wanted a second go here because I didn't do very well that first time. But this mode is so stupid, and I just kind of love that they added it. Yeah, some of these Zotes are enemies from the Grey Prince fight, and some of them are just completely new. I believe they're called Zotelings. Okay, this big one with the shockwaves is really annoying to deal with. Yeah, this can get very chaotic towards the end, just because of how many Zotes are spawned in at once. Okay, those ceiling ones are really annoying as well, because they'll spit projectiles at you. Okay, I've hit 20. I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. So, what godforsaken rewards do you get for beating 57 Zotes? Well, let me just head to a bench and save. And then I'll go to the title screen. Because, you know, a couple of streams ago I was showing off all of those unique title screens that you can unlock by, you know, getting the deal. Well, you get the DLCs anyway. You get those ones right away. But like by beating the game on Steel Soul, that sort of thing. Well, you get one of them by beating the Eternal Ordeal. So, I'm going to mute for this, and we're going to listen to it, because it doesn't keep this normal music. Is the Zote joke well and truly beaten into the ground at this point? Possibly? Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think Grey Prince was the natural end point for it, and I really enjoy that fight. As much as I really find the Eternal Ordeal funny, I think they might have just taken it a little bit too far here. I think they kind of beat it into the ground a little bit, made it not quite as funny as it used to be. Right, let's go with that setup, I think. So, I have said that I'm not able to beat Absolute Radiance, and so by extension, I don't believe that I am able to beat the Pantheon of Hallownest. I just don't think it's possible. I can't do it. I just don't have enough skill myself, but I do have it unlocked, and I think it would be wrong to stream Godmaster without at least attempting the Pantheon of Hallownest. I think it has to be done. I don't know how far I'm going to get. Honestly, the first time I attempted it, I died to a really embarrassingly low boss, so it's potentially going to happen again. But I feel like I have to try. The final and definitely the most difficult challenge in Hollow Knight. Let's begin. There are 42 bosses. Take your bets on how many I can beat. Right, so, yeah, Ascended Vengefly. You fight 2 of them. Oh my god, am I really gonna die to Vengefly? Oh fucking hell, I think I am. Come on, don't die to Vengefly. That would be... oh my god. Oh, no! I can't be dying to Vengefly! What the fuck? No! That's not allowed. Oh, fucking hell. Little bastard. Okay, one of them's dead. You're coming down. No, you're summoning more. You didn't actually summon any. Okay. I took way too much damage to Vengefly there. I did say I'd die to something embarrassing, yeah. I was kind of hoping that I'd be wrong. Okay, so Gru's mother has a bit of a complicated arena to deal with here. Gotta be even more careful with your spacing here now. This is why I've taken off Shadow Dash. Just because, not Shadow Dash, Sharp Shadow. Just because it does mess with your distance a little bit. And I have died a few times to that. Embarrassingly so. It was on the Radiant version that I died to that, so that's my defense. Oh, poop. Oh, crap. I'm gonna die to Gru's mother. Okay, no, I'm not. Good. Okay, False Knight. I can actually pull it back a little bit here. So, while they do use the Ascended Arenas for the Pantheon, I don't think they use the Ascended Inflated Health Pools. And obviously they don't do the Ascended Damage either. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the extra health. Okay, you're gonna go for the shockwave now. Yep. It's almost like I've fought this boss a lot of times. Okay, I would have liked to have healed more off of that. I don't know if the trick with the failed champion also works on the false knight. I've not really tried it. I probably should have tried it. Okay, Moss Charger. I'm not going to try and cheese here because I took a lot of damage last time I did that. I'm just going to try and do it properly. It's not exactly a hard boss either way. But I just got comboed a lot while I was trying to combo it. And I don't want to risk that during a Pantheon. Especially not this Pantheon. I think where this Pantheon gets you is... it's your stamina and endurance, really. And so if you lose too much health to stupid things early on, you're just not going to get through the later stages. Okay, so this was boss, what, number 4? If I could get to double digits today, I'd be satisfied. Okay, Hornet for 5. Makes sense. So far we're basically going in the same order as the first Pantheon. The order won't remain consistent with the other Pantheons for the entire thing. I think it's just for these early bosses to get them out of the way. One thing I do find a little bit annoying about this Pantheon is that for bosses like Hornet with 2 variants, you do have to fight both of them. And I kind of wish they took out the easier version so you don't have to waste time on it. And you just deal with a hard version later on. Because you're already fighting a load of tough bosses. I don't think fighting the easy first version of Hornet really has much bragging rights to it. Not at this point in the game, anyway. Okay, you're going to come down, get the finishing blow in. Nice. Okay. Mischief beyond mischief, we cannot escape thee, even in this highest, most distant of pantheons. O wielder of nail, O eater of soul, are thee a messenger of the gods, or something stranger? We will not defy thee. Continue thy combat. We shall be listening closely. So, obviously I've spoken a little bit about what the Godseeker is doing here. But their end goal is to find and attune to the God of Gods. They believe that the Radiance is the God of Gods. Now, whether they're correct or not, I will left that unsaid, but I guess the sheer fact of me saying that says they're not. Okay, Gorb's Ascended Arena is really annoying. Like, Gorb himself is not a difficult boss, but these platforms do not make it easy to deal with. I think all of the Dream Warriors have really annoying Ascended platforms. None are quite as bad as Markov. Okay, there we go. Gorb is dealt with. Just got to be slow and methodical with him. Okay, Dung Defender. I like Dung Defender. He's actually a fun boss. So this is boss, what, 7 now? He's also a boss where I'm actually going to have a few opportunities to heal. Okay, got to be careful there. Let's get you out of here, buddy. Okay, second phase. And down he goes. Nice. That was boss fight 7, right? On to boss fight 8. Okay, Soul Warrior. Not too bad. Oh, it's this version. Okay. I guess this technically counts as the Ascended version. He already existed in the game, even before Godhome, but it makes sense. Okay, slightly misjudged the distance there. Okay, don't want to use too much soul because I will need to heal that last bit of health there. Perfect. Oh god, Brooding Morlek. Hey, it's Tiso! And he dies. Okay, this version of Brooding Morlek is actually harder because of its arena. I mean, as all the Ascended versions are. But it's a lot harder to predict where it's jumping to and from because it doesn't have that central platform now. It has free reign of the arena, basically. Okay, that didn't take too long. I was expecting that to put up more of a fight. And yeah, rip Tiso. So this is where the theory of how he died in the the arena came from. Because there is a Brooding Morlek in the final Pantheon. The final trial, I mean. Getting my words mixed up here. Okay. I got the feeling that Oro and Mato are where this run is going to end. I've got a hunch. It's been a long time since I've fought them. All of the others, obviously I've fought them recently this playthrough. And obviously I fight them quite regularly when I play through the game normally as well. Whereas Oro and Mato, I don't fight them very often at all. I would be fine with dying to them. They are double digits, so that's where I wanted to get to. And they are a tricky boss fight. Okay, let's get over you. I think I will get a bench after these two. I think that's how it works in the Pantheon of Hallownest. So if I do survive, I'll be in a pretty good spot. Don't know how likely that's looking right now. Ugh. Okay, one of them's down. Oh, poop. Run. Oh, no. Oh, poop. Yeah, there we go. I guess that's where my run of the Pantheon of Hallownest ends today. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with it dying to Oro and Mato. Like I said, I don't fight them very often, so I'm not very well practiced with the fight. I don't really feel like sinking too much more time into this. So, what do you actually get if you beat the Pantheon of Hallownest? Well, I'm actually not a big fan of the reward. You get one of two new endings, and the ending that you get has nothing to do with what goes on in the Pantheon. Do you remember the Delicate Flowers? That quest? Well, you can give one to the Godseeker that contains Godhome. And the ending that you get is entirely dependent on that, which is a bit weird. Now, these two endings, I wouldn't really call them two endings. They're variants of the same ending, and I believe they have the same achievement. So you don't have to do the Pantheon of Hallownest twice, thank fuck. But yeah, I just don't like the fact that an ending is locked behind this at all. For me, this is the kind of challenge, it's an extreme challenge for the most dedicated of skilled players. Critical lore, like an ending, should not be locked behind it. Now, you get lore for beating the Path of Pain as well, which I would guess is the equivalent challenge to this. But that's not a full-on ending. It's a tiny little bit of confirmation for a fan theory. Whereas this is a full-on new end to the game. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Because it feels like you're just kind of circumventing the proper way of doing things in a way. Both story-wise and game-wise. And it'll make sense when you see these endings, but basically, killing the Radiance within Godhome counts as killing it for real. So I do actually have these downloaded. I got them off YouTube. I want you guys to see them, but I'm not going to be getting them legitimately. Here we go. So, what's happening in these endings is, like the bosses that have been attuning with the Godseeker and getting stronger, which is why they ascend, the void within the night ascends as well. And it becomes what the fan community have dubbed the Shade Lord, who is the real God of Gods that the Godseeker was trying to reach. The Godseeker gets what it wants. It gets consumed by this almighty power. And presumably it breaks free and gets unleashed upon Hallownest. But which is where the Delicate Flower ending comes in. Apparently the Delicate Flowers can stop the void. That's just a weird random lore detail to throw in right at the end of the game there. But then because the Radiance has been killed for real, I think what happens is because the Radiance lives within the dream world, when the Godseekers tried to attune it, they didn't just create a dream copy of it, they pulled the real thing in. So the infection dies without the Hollow Knight ever needing to be destroyed. So he survives. It's just very weird. I don't know if they're setting stuff up here for... maybe for the DLC that evolved into Silksong. Maybe that's what they were trying to do here. From what we've seen of Silksong, it doesn't look like any of this is actually going to be relevant, so... it just leaves the game off on this weird... just this weird cliffhanger. And I just kind of wish that... like, the Pantheon of Hallownest didn't need an ending. I feel like just beating it. Just the sheer triumph of beating it, I think, would be a satisfying reward in of itself. Just that, the bragging rights, really. Anyway, as far as this playthrough of Hollow Knight goes, as a mainstream series that I'm doing, that's the end. So, let's head over to the chat room. And let's do some talking. So, Yeah, Godmaster, I'm not the biggest fan of it myself. I've never really been a massive fan of like boss rushes and challenge mode style content. If I get something out of it that affects the rest of the game, like say with the Xenoblade games, then I'll engage with it a little bit more. But for me, it's just kind of a sort of endless style content to continue to engage with the game after you're done with it. Whereas for me, I don't mind challenging my games, but I very much like to have a journey that I'm going on or something that I'm working towards. So if that challenge is within the context of the main body of the game itself, then bring it on. But with this extra challenge stuff, it just feels like a bit like, okay, you know, it's nice that it's there for the people who are into that sort of thing. But I'm done with the game, I'm satisfied, and I'd like to move on. Which is why it irks me a little bit that they've actually integrated it into the world. Because I like to do 100% runs of Hollow Knight a lot, and I have to make the conscious decision every time to go, no, I am not bothering with God Home this time, I don't want to do it. And I shouldn't feel bad, because no one's forcing me to do anything, no one's forcing me to play it, but I do, because that's just how my brain works. But yeah, it is what it is, you know, it's such a minor complaint. At the end of the day, I can still ignore it. It doesn't matter where in the game it is. But yeah, that is Godmaster. The new bosses I really like. The new music I really like. Well, besides Winged Nosk, but the less said about that, the better. And besides Absolute Radiance as well. That boss fight is just absolute bullshit. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this playthrough of Hollow Knight though. It has been very, very overdue. Obviously, Hollow Knight was the first game I ever streamed, and my intent was to show off the entire game way back then, 5 years ago. And yeah, I should not have done Steel Soul if I wanted to do that. Permadeath and trying to show off the entire game do not mix. They just don't. They do not mix. And then after that, it kind of demoralised me a little bit. And then just there were so many other big games that I was wanting to do, and it was a real struggle to try and fit in where Hollow Knight would go between those. Originally, I was planning on streaming this between Xenoblade 2 and 3. I had roughly a 2-month gap there. This game's taken roughly 2 months to do. Would have fit in perfectly. And then Pikmin 4 would have been a break game during Xenoblade 3. But then it turned out that Pikmin 4 was like 3 times the length of any other Pikmin game, so it kind of stole that slot. And then Hollow Knight, like Metal Gear Rising before it, kind of just got shoved to the side, out of the way as a I'll get to it kind of game. But, you know, 5th anniversary year this year, I really wanted to get those things out of the way, that like unfinished business. And yeah, effectively, I'm done with all of that now. There's only one little thing left that I've promised, and well, we'll get to that. Even though I promised it 3 years ago, it's technically a new thing this year, so it doesn't really fall into the same category, though it's getting done anyway. What I did want to do with this playthrough, though, is change up how I handle my streams in regards to how much planning work I do and how much I do between streams, because I don't think it's a secret to say that I went overboard with Xenoblade 3. I find planning fun, I find it satisfying, and I love that feeling when it comes together and the plan worked. But I sometimes I take it a little bit too far. I think I sometimes optimize the fun out of the games I'm playing. And considering Xenoblade 3, it's not really been that long since I streamed it, and there's another game that I'm about to do that I've done a ton of planning for as well. With Hollow Knight falling between those, I kind of wanted to just not plan it, so I didn't. I had a very rough idea of the order I was going to do the main objectives in mind, but that wasn't a plan, because that's just kind of how I play the game anyway, and then everything else was done entirely from memory. And I'm pretty satisfied with how things went considering that, because I didn't miss anything major. I think I just missed a couple of grubs. That was it. There was a couple of things that I didn't explain maybe as well as I could have done because I didn't make notes. A couple of things I wanted to talk about that I forgot to talk about and ended up talking about them later, but you know what? There was only a handful of things, all things considered. Considering I put none of the work in that I usually feel like I have to, I think this went really well. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to quite continue to go in as raw as that. But the idea here was just to see how it would go, using a game that I'm very familiar with, just so that in future with big games I could go for a bit more of a balanced... You know, there'd be a bit of planning, but there'd also be a bit of just freeform, just to strike a better, more maintainable balance for my streams. Because obviously, I work, I have a full-time job in the week. I don't want to just have to dedicate so much time to planning and preparation just because I wanted to stream a bit of a bigger game. I think next year is when we're going to see the fruition of what I'm trying to do here. I do have a big game in mind that I'd like to do. And I'd like to do it without burning myself out. So, yeah, Hollow Knight was a crucial step in that process of just improving how I do streams. And just making it a better process for my mental health. Anyway, so, with Hollow Knight done, I have 2 things that I would like to announce. First of all, we have the secondary stream slot that Subnautica opened up. I said when I finished Subnautica that I had something in mind for this slot, but I wasn't ready to announce what it is yet. Well, I am now ready. Because, yeah, it's Hollow Knight. Yeah, so even though I've said that I don't think I can beat the Pantheon of Hallownest, I think I'm currently in the best position I'll ever be to attempt it. Because the problem I have is, whenever I do a playthrough in my own time, by the time I get to this point, I'm like, I want to move on. And then if I try and just randomly jump into it, I'm so out of practice that I don't do very well. But I've just come off the back of doing a playthrough, and streams are excellent for motivating me to do something, and I've got this secondary slot that I've said I want to dedicate to doing like little tasks and challenges and stuff. So it just fits quite well. Now, I'm not promising that I'm going to beat it. I still am not convinced that I actually have the skill to do it. But until something better comes along for this slot, I'd like to give it a few goes, just see how it goes, until either I beat it or it beats me. As for the main slot, though, I think you all already know what it is. I've not exactly kept it a secret. I've literally said what it is multiple times, but I have something that I'd like you guys to watch.
BLADE is an acronym. Builders of a legacy after the destruction of Earth. Quite fitting, I think.
My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours?
Yes, at last. The Great One's divine vessel is mine.
Those of us who escaped on the White Whale spent over 2 years wandering in space.
Human extinction is duty. Our duty is ganglion.
Maybe we really should have been wiped out of existence. Our people can't coexist peacefully.
Then, wait, you mean we're already dead?
You've lost it. Give it up, Luxor! Go ahead and shoot.
No, damn it, that's not even the point! We're all on the same side here!
They are the disease, not the cure. I shall crush them myself.
But I won't let you destroy humanity's future.
Now, humans, you die!
Fancy seeing you here.
You all knew it was coming. But the next game that I am streaming, and I'm very happy to announce this, is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Definitive Edition. Now, that trailer you saw there was my attempt at recreating the E3 2014 trailer of X, which is a really great trailer, in Definitive Edition. I'm not entirely happy with how it turned out. A lot of my footage ended up being quite scuffed, and I didn't have time to record more, but I worked with what I had, and the more I watch it, the more I see issues with the editing, but you know what? I'm an amateur, I'm not a professional. It'll do. I've got to stop being a perfectionist about things. It's bad for my brain. Yeah, so, how am I going to be handling Definitive Edition? Well, obviously there is new story content. There is an entire epilogue that finally brings the story of Xenoblade X to a, would I say satisfying ending? Somewhat. Unlike Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition though, this new content is not in its own new side mode. It is fully integrated with the rest of the game. Now, for the new story stuff, you can actually repeat that, but for the new side content, you can't. And I do want to show off all the new side content as well. So that means that I am going to have to replay the entire game again. I am so upset that I have to do that. You know, I'm going to have such a terrible time. So, I'm not going to be streaming an entire every quest 100% run of Xenoblade X again because I'm not insane. What I'm going to be doing is all of the new content I'm going to be doing with the same level of focus and just completion that I did the base game back in 2022. Anything old, I'm going to handle more like how I handled Xenoblade 1 and 2, and it's going to be more of a sort of abridged story focus run. Going to be doing all of the story chapters, all of the required quests. There's a few specific quests that I would like to show off as well because they're somewhat relevant to the new content. And then depending on the time in each streams, I might do some extra quests as well. Like if I finish like an hour and a half in everything that I wanted to do that day, I'll probably just do some extra side quests as well. I'm going to be splitting this playthrough into 2 seasons. Season 1 will be focused on chapters 1 through 12, what made up the original Wii U game, and then Season 2 will be Chapter 13, the epilogue, all of the new stuff. So it is going to be a little while until we actually get to that new stuff, so for the people who are mentioning no names, playing through the game themselves, you do have a while to finish that epilogue yourselves before I'm actually going to get to it, so don't stress too much about that, you've got time. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be starting this playthrough next week. The next 2 weekends, in fact, I am away, as well as the Wednesday between those, so I'm going to be starting it in 3 weeks' time on Saturday the 16th of August, I think, as I don't really want to start it on that Wednesday because I want to get through chapters 1 through 3 in that first stream, and on my original playthrough that took me about 4 hours. I don't want to do a longer stream on a work night, that's not a good idea, so 3 weeks' time, our return to Mirror begins. And I can't wait. Oh, I know it's not been that long since I played through the game because it's only been 4 months since this version came out, but I'm itching for a second playthrough. I love X, I really do, and this new version of it is just the best way to play it. It strips away so much of the bullshit. But I'll save all of that for, you know, when I actually play it. We can talk about what's changed. Am I making a new character or remaking my old one? A couple of months ago on Discord, I posted a little teaser. I'd remade the stream version of Cross in Definitive Edition. And the reason why I remade her was because I didn't want to waste time making her on stream. So I made her in preparation for streaming. We'll be going back to her, so we'll be seeing essentially an abridged recap of her journey, and then seeing how her journey ends. I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing her again, because she's looking forward to seeing you. Anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end it today. I've got nothing else to talk about, as much as I would love to ramble about Xenoblade X for the next half an hour.
Bottle of weak sauce.
I think I should save all of my ramblings for when I'm actually playing the game. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will be back on Wednesday with the first of my many painful attempts of the Pantheon of Hallownest. Then I'll be back 2 weeks after that with another Pantheon of Hallownest stream, and then the weekend after that, in 3 weeks' time, my playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition finally begins. Anyway, I have a very special raid that I need to do today because our good friend Space Mermy is having her 5th affiliate anniversary, and I've not actually had a chance to get over there yet today, and I would be a bad friend if I didn't go over there. So let's get that raid going, and I'll see you all over there. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye!